Before we start using all of our drawing tools, I wanted to quickly go over how the color picker here works, since we're going to be using it in conjunction with all those tools. So by default, the color picker is set up with these three sliders for hue, saturation, and value, or HSV. You adjust the three sliders to define a color. You can also switch it to RGB mode, or red, green, blue. I think the HSV is easier. Either way, you can also define the opacity of the color here. If you don't like either of those, you can double-click the current color box to bring up this window. Here, you can get a picker that might be more like what you're used to. You can also go into multiple wheel mode and see all the pickers at once, but that's probably overkill for the simple coloring you'll be doing in a storyboard. And you can also use the eyedropper tool to sample a color that's already on the stage. Just click and hold, drag it over the color, and release. You can also use this window to create gradients in addition to solid colors. Just switch to gradient mode, click the arrows on the gradient bar down here, and pick a color. And then you can adjust them however you want. You can also click in the middle to add other colors for a more complicated gradient. And your gradients can be either linear or radial. Be aware, gradients are really only useful on vector layers. We'll look at the tool for adjusting gradients in the lesson on vector tools. Now, no matter what kind of color you choose, solid or gradient, if you intend to reuse it, you can save it to your swatches down here with this plus sign. Or you can get rid of a swatch with the minus sign. On the drop-down menu here, you also have the option for new texture. This lets you browse for an image, ideally a pattern of some kind, and then you can use that image as a fill for a vector shape. Once you have a palette you like, you can save it as a Toon Boom palette file using this drop-down and going to Export Colors. Then if you're in another project, you can import that PLT file using Import Colors. It will warn you if there are any duplicates, and you can either remove any duplicates, meaning it will only add the new swatches, or import duplicates, which means it will import all the colors and you'll just end up with duplicates in the swatch palette. Probably best to remove duplicates. The last thing you might want to do, if you really like this palette, is use the menu to save it as default. Then this will be the default palette you'll get when you start a project. That's really all you need to know. Basically, for each project you're working on, you'll want to set up a simple palette that works for your purposes and not think about it too much while you're trying to draw. And speaking of drawing, in the next video, let's actually come over to the Tools toolbar and start looking at our drawing tools. I'll see you there.